My pleasure. Okay, ladies and gents, we're well into the middle of iMoot now, and we've got the wonderful Gareth Barnard joining us for theme customization for beginners. I can't wait to see this session. I have been a long fan of Gareth and very grateful for his maintaining on the essential themes. So this should be a fantastic session. Take it away, Gareth.
Well, thank you very much, Lindy. That's quite a build-up and a pressure to do really well. Right, okay. I won't mute my microphone this time. Okay, so welcome. Yeah, lots to cover. So we're going to be doing the following. This is what we're going to do, covering all these things, a few little admin bits, and what Duke's like, explain later. A little bit of how to get your environment getting all ready and stuff. Browser development tools, which we're going to use for debugging things and using that all the time. 5 different aspects of customizing your theme. And then we get to point 11 where you can get help find information progression. There is some homework, but if you do the homework, you get access to a badge. Yay. And some free extra videos which cover all bullet points 5 to 10, which sort of repeating. So you'd have to use this video, you can use your own individual ones, and boom. And finally, like a tell me how to, and I'll come on to that in a minute. Okay, first of all, just do need trademarks, because really important. Must know that all these different trademarks, I am independent from the organisations listed above. I am no way speaking for them or endorsed by them, so forth. Just a bit, there's a legal aspect going on here. Okay, so introduction there, you can see there. Prerequisites on my course that you got on there. There is a complete load of links to last year's iMoot thing that I did, which allows you to have your own development environment. Do not, whatever you do, try any of this on a production thing. You'll give the techies a complete heart attack. They'll be carted off in ambulances, and you'll horrible. Yep. So use a test installation. I've got a guide, brilliant presentation from last year there. I'll be using Clean and Shoelace. Shoelace is available from, yeah, thanks. Shoelace is available from there using that link. It will be showing you the 2.9, but Shoelace is available from previous ones as well. You also need a little bit of knowledge. The purpose of this is not to teach you CSS, but to show the different aspects of actually applying certain skills within Moodle itself to get you into it. So you can combine everything you can learn generically on other sites and other videos about CSS and apply them to Moodle. Okay, that's me at the bottom. I do lots of course formats, 4 of them, 4 or 5 themes, and I'm a moderator there, developer, software engineer, educator. I was a teacher for 7 years. Before that, I was a professional software engineer for 7 years as well, and now I've gone back to doing professional software engineering. Okay, right. One thing to start thinking about now for later is what would you like explained at the end? And I'll try and answer your questions about it in like a tell me how to type session. Please just note down the idea. I won't have time to look at the chat, but keep that noted down and we'll come to that at the end. Okay, first up, you'll need to have a theme designer mode, debugging and URL swapping. Theme designer mode is something built into Moodle, which then breaks apart all the files that are served out with theme. Oops, that's going to go on that. Yeah. Now, in production, it all clumps it all together and makes it really quick. However, if you're developing really bad, you can't tell, oh, where does that come from there? What does that start with? Where is that specified? Bad news. So we need to turn that on, but the disadvantage is it slows down the machine quite quickly. So, sorry, rapidly. So you need to have it on. You need to only have you logged in, run it on your own machine, nobody else. Yeah. Debugging really useful, shows code's fault and developing in more detail. URL swapping, brilliant. Allows you can change the theme by just putting an extra parameter, which we'll show you on the URL in the address bar. So if you muck up your theme that you're developing with, you can always swap to another one or other core ones in. You've got out of jail, you've got back into it, and you can then sort things out rapidly. Okay, and yeah, and then the next thing is browser development tools, which we're using. So yeah, they allow you to debug, to pull apart, to understand all the aspects of the web page, to inspect things and, oh, how's that created? How's that doing? There's a console where you can see things. If there's anything going wrong, you can see how fast the page is loading. You can see, make temporary changes. See, oh, what does that do? What if I like this? What will this look like? Without actually being permanent, it just makes it all bit happen at your end, and you can decide to keep that on. Page refresh kills it. So first thing, block border radius change now. Okay, as you can see on the screen, we've got the clean theme there, and I mentioned URL swapping and all those things. I'll quickly show you those. So if we go down to administration, I'm logged in as an administrator on here because it is our own private little Moodle. So you will find the first of those settings that we're going to be using under Appearance, Themes, Theme Settings. Like so, and there's a switch for Theme Designer mode. There's allow theme changes in the URL. These ones are on by default. So there, and then the other thing I wanted is debugging. So development, debugging. And there we've got up developer, display the debug messages. It does break things, but it doesn't matter. Really important, really useful. Performance information there that you use for, and show page information. That's really, really useful because at the bottom we get all these extra bits. And one thing is good general type there. That'll help us know which layout file, well, that will come on to later, we can use and various bits and bobs. So back to our course. So first, simple, straightforward thing we want to do, of maybe we want to put a curved border on our theme. So instead of using clean, we'll go to shoelace. So use an ampersand because there's already a parameter there with a question mark. If there wasn't, we'd use a question mark. Theme equals shoelace. Now, shoelace is installed. It isn't my extra, it is like an extra theme. Install that in exactly the same way as all the other guides tell you normally for installing plugins. Switches on like that. Check out my machine a little bit slow. It will get there. Okay, right, this is where we can now start to use the discovery bit with the browser development tools. So we can right click. I can do this in most browsers. I'm just using Firefox here. Inspect the element. And there we are, and it's pulled up the page, the structure, when you hover over and stuff like that. It tells you, oh, that's what we're looking at. Yeah, that's all the block regions. That's that actual block region, or rather actual block. And that is the whole block. So we want to make these slightly more curved. So if we find the block itself, so that's only selected, we find there's some styles to find here, and more importantly, rules. So there we are. There's that. Class block block navigation, that's the original instance. Class block, aha, block. So that's for all of them. So what if we were to change this? What if we were to give this a border radius? So we're going to do border (24 pixels). Best laid plans of mice and men. We can't spell. Yeah, exactly. It happens. Typo. That was a typo. Honest. And there we can see that's changed. Yeah. Now, beauty is we know we've now we've worked out. Aha, that's the look we really like. That's what we want. That's what we keep. But we only changed it locally. We actually, if we refresh this page, it would go away. It would be wrong. It wouldn't be persistent. Now we want to keep that. So we've now got an idea. So we know it's got to go to block class, and we know that's got to be specified there, and we want to add that to our custom CSS. So if we take a copy and we find the custom CSS for the theme, so site administration, appearance, themes. I'm going to put this in a new window. Shoelace. Now, a lot of themes should have the custom CSS box. So hopefully familiar with. It chugs away. Hopefully it shouldn't be crackling for you. Yeah, there. So we find the custom CSS box and we can paste in that. Now remember it was in the block class, so dot block. This is where you can use the CSS skills. You can pick up from loads of other places. Put that in. We've got a bit of CSS. See on this page, we've got this and we've got no rounded borders. So if we then save that, now we haven't done anything in the browser development tools here. So when this page reloads, we will see the effect with any luck. Yes, it is, Anne. If the theme developer's done his job properly. Sorry, their job properly. Yeah, so there we can have, there's the rounded borders. Great. First little step, that's a really good way. And also that's really good if you're going to make changes and you're going to update the theme, because that is always, that bit of CSS is stored in the database and not the file. So if you update your theme, that should be persistent unless the developer changes something and so forth. Okay, next one. So what if you want to change a layout to no blocks? Now, sometimes you find that on things like reports, you can't really fit in. Yeah, so if we have our reports, let's say called the activity log. And that can get quite big. And we want to have it says, and he says, well, I can get away with not using side blocks and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. And we can use something different. And we can just use like the breadcrumb and stuff. We're happy with that form of navigation. But at the moment, and it does take a little minute. Yeah, we've got this here. So we're not really giving us enough space. But what we can do, we can adjust the theme for that. Now, this is done in a slightly different way. So, and just straight this, and it all depends on the theme and where to look. So, we can go to the files itself. Now, this is the root of the Moodle installation. So we've got everything in here, and you can see here your config and everything for the main in there. Themes are kept in the theme folder. Shoelace. Don't worry about the zip files, they're my backups. They get ignored. We can go into, so I'm going to shoelace first of all. So we go into shoelace there, and we look in the configuration file. Sorry, config.php. And that has loads of information. Parents, blah, 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 and a whole thing of layouts. Now, if we look here at our page layout, it says, general type report. There's the clue. That's the page layout. So you see that here, the base layout has only got columns ones. It hasn't got side, pre, or anything like that. It's just got the footer. So if we were to copy that with Control-C and go down to our final report layout, which you see there has got 2 columns, and just simply replace that, save that, then all report pages, when we refresh, won't have a block on the left-hand side. There we go. So you can't see that. We move to the top. Then, yeah, it's blocked on. So we've still got that, blah, 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 there. Now, clean slightly different. So if we just switch to the clean thing, yep, because it's storing there, that's still back to where we had it. So let's go back to our files and have a look. So if we go to the theme folder, go into clean and look at its config.php file. We're looking for the same thing, the same layout file. We scroll down and think, oh, crumbs, where are all the layouts gone? Aha, now here is getting it from the parent. But what parent is it? It tells us. Here, parents is in the Bootstrap base, so that's where we need to go. So back to our theme folder, Bootstrap base, and the config file. Then you can find the layouts again. Yep, there we are. So here again, here it's slightly different. There is no footer region. There's just no empty regions at all. So we can take a copy of that. Control C, find our report. There, save that, go back to our module and refresh. That's then again worked, but it's only changed the report layout for all reports. That's important to know. Okay, our next little task is, what if you want to use your own icon? Sometimes, oh no, you aren't really happy with the news forum or stuff like that. I'm going to use clean because Shoelace already has one overwritten and stuff like that. So back on our course, if you make this clean. Okay, I do see questions in the chat. Please, if you just keep hold of them in mind or note them down, I will get up to as many of them as I can at the end. Thank you very much. Right, so here we're back on clean, and there's the news form. So we want to overwrite that. We want to have that something different, yeah? But we don't know what it is. Where is that file? We don't know. So if we right-click on that, inspect element, we'll find that, there's a source, it's information, like so, image is in the thing clean, the component is forum, the image is icon. Now that's important, the component's not core, it's forum, that tells us it's something else. So if we go back up to our main Moodle installation and go to mod, because it's a module, forum, pics, it says there's icon, so there's our icon, and call it icon there. Okay, now we're not going to change it there because that means changing something within core code. We only want to overwrite that in the theme itself. So what I have currently done is, yep, I've got a little people person sort of different icon there. I'm going to take that and copy that and use that instead. So back to our theme, clean, and here you see there's already a pics folder, but we need a new folder, and we'll call this pics plugins. All right, so because even though it's a part of core, it is actually a plugin. There's a comparison. Don't worry if you're not worried about. In all the slides, I've got references to all the Moodle documentation that talks about this. So in here, then we're going to put forum, and in here we're going to paste that icon, but we can't call it people. It has to be the same name. So we name this to icon, and now when we refresh this page with any luck, if I've got it right, it's not changed, and I've done something wrong, and I've forgotten what it is. And I'm just going to quickly, what have I done wrong? The first time, clean pics plugins forum. You've done something wrong. Right, in here we needed best lane plans and the mod folder. Because remember, it was in mod. Move that into there. So now we've got that structure. There we are, and there we've got a new icon. Like so. Other thing we want to do is maybe, what do we want to change this docking icon? Maybe we want it to stand out and be different. What's that all about? So if we inspect that, we find that, in here, the URL here, theme clean again, component 4, that means it's something different, and it is in in the folder in block to block. Right, so it's okay. our core pictures are stored in the pics folder. And in there we'll find T. We're going to find block to doc, which is there. There's an SVG file as well. So we're going to borrow that a second. We're going to copy that and go back to our theme. Chugga there, and back to clean. Now it course, so it's a different number of things. So we need this to be in pics underscore core. And in there, new folder, because remember it's T folder. And in there, we're going to paste that icon. But that's still the same. But luckily, it is an SVG file. And we can change the fill of that. Now you can do this in GIMP. You can do this in Inkscape, any other SVG. But for speed here, I'm going to change that to the color blue. These hex codes, red, green, blue. Any paint package will show to tell you what the values are for a certain color that you like. Pardon me. So save that. Go back to here. Refresh the page. There we are. And you now see that that is a nice shade of blue. Okay, next little fun task. Right, what if you think, oh, this page, you know, is slightly boring. You know, it's a bit white, it's a bit dull, and you want to change it. You want to start imposing your own colours on it, but really through user interface, it's not quite like Essential where you can change virtually everything. It doesn't quite do what you want it to do. Yeah, or even if Essential didn't want it to do what you want to do. Yeah. How do you do that? How do you make that really, really effective? So as this loads, we can do some stuff. Okay, we're going to do so. If we right click look on here, so we use a brown body, we see, that's the whole page. There's a body tag. So what if in there I'm going to cover that with background and use the American spelling, and I'm going to use AAD7FFD. Like that. But you can pick any color you like, put that in, it's changed blue. Yep. And but now there's the central part, it's a bit it doesn't really stand out. So but what on earth is that area? How can we do something like that? So we expect element on that. Call it, no, that's not it. Not it. Region main. There's an ID here, region main. And there's nothing down here, but there's an element tag. Really, really, really useful. So background. Now, we want to make this a little bit transparent. So there's another thing, you still specify the hex color, XRGB. We can use this thing called RGBA, which is red, green, blue, alpha for alpha channel. Now the values in there are 255, that's white, so that FF is white. So you're converting base 16 to base 10 in the old mathematical way, but the transparency is actually like just between 0 and 1, a little bit like probability. So 0.5. There we are, and hopefully, click away, come on. Yep, there we are. We can now see it. It's in a nice sort of shady, and then that will react to the background color changing as well. So, but how do we make that persistent? Yeah, what do we want to do? Now, this time we want to maybe keep that in our, we want to not use the custom CSS, show you another way. So we're going to put it in our custom style sheet. But where on earth is that? So let's have a look. Back in our shoe thing. And then we can have a look at, so we've got, config file, open with, yep, so you edit, and in there, it should list sheets we're using. One of them is custom. Yeah, in fact, the last one, really important to look at. So if we look in our style folder, and that's where everything gets served up, we can look in the open up the custom sheet and add our CSS. But before this setting here, and that's why, you know, that user interface, when people add in bits and bobs, that custom CSS box, that's where it gets added. Really, really cool. So the first we want is the body tag, because we're applying that. So that was that background color. And we wanted that as AAD7FD, like so. Then the other thing was that region main, so which it is an ID, so there's only going to be one on the page. Whoops, I hadn't anticipated that. And we can use the same RGBA. There, save that. So remember, we haven't saved it here, so when we refresh this page, as if by magic, it will come back. There we are. Now the beauty of theme design mode is, you now look at this, it will tell you where that's specified. So that's specified, yeah, oh, that's where you put it. Exactly in the, you know, sheet custom in theme shoelace, blah, type, and so forth. If we look at our body, and that's the same thing there. Yeah, it tells exactly where we specified it and the line number. Really, really great. Helps us to debug and other these sort of things. Okay, next little task. What if you want to change the block heading background color setting? So maybe, oh, you want to make this really, really stand out. Yeah, to make, as you see in the screenshot there. So we're going to discover the CSS. Work out how to do less. Now, certain things do less because it breaks apart everything. If we look at more so, because shoelace inherits from the bootstrap base, we look at the style. Yeah, that file is very, very big, loads and loads of styles. So it's all those styles are pulled apart and put into separate files, so then compiled together. Now shoelace uses the same thing as more, so it compiles that, takes all those files, bolts them all together and puts them into one big file. It just really helps you as a developer all good to get yourself organized and sort things out and so forth. So we're going to do the same thing. So shoelace, we will be needing the less, and you see there's extra less files in there. That's what we're going to change it. So let's have a look. So we want to change this top. So we right click on that, inspect the element. Okay, and we find that our book, yeah, has its head and the header. So there you can see it's not quite fitting the top. Oh, something really odd's going on here. We've got some padding happening. Yeah, and we want to see in my screenshot, we want that background to fill all the top. I mean, if we at the moment, if we were to change that to the color of the nav bar, the color of the nav bar is, this is where this crate can use it. Let's find the right one. Yeah, so that we're going to pick that nice little color there and go back to, if we were to put that head, make this as, in fact, it's got a header. No. Yeah, that's the right one though. Yeah, that's not quite fitting the screen. Yeah, it's not the thing. Curve for a start. Oh, hasn't pushed up to the top. So remember the border radius, but this is border top. Top left. radius. Remember before it was 24 pixels. So that's made it nice and curved. Border top, because we won't want to do the bottom. Right, radius, make that 24 pixels. But it's still not, it hasn't pushed up. So, ooh, what on earth is going on there? So what we need to do is something special. So, we look here, we find that, hang on a second. Oh, something else going on here. We've got some padding going on. Yeah, oh, not right. So, what if we make that have no padding? Like that, and that squashed it all up. But now this is really sort of really compressed, and it's sort of not quite so as good as it could be. So go back to header, and we can put our padding in there instead. So let's make that 4 pixels and padding 4 pixels, like so. Yeah, now we have a nice, thick, well-defined heading, but it's still not persistent. Now, the key thing with less is that you can actually separate this out and put it all in one little place and divide the CS in a different way. Now, the thing to note here, we've got the class header within the class block. So I'll take a copy of that. And we've got some color as well. So let's go back. Now in here we've got shoelace changes, custom, and there's a custom less file. I said on these links and so forth to tell her, and then we got this is in our header. There, and but header within block because we still haven't got that cancelling out 0 padding going on. Yay. So block, that was in block, remember from what the browser development tools told us, and we do padding X. Now you can't do this in CSS, you can only put things within less, and it makes it a lot more readable for us. And in a minute, you just get that nice and light, things nice and tidy. See that RGB color that has changed when we copy that, that won't matter. Like so, save that. Now when we now refresh page, like that, there it is defined. So I'll take a copy of that temporarily. But that's so. Yeah, that's fixed, that changed, but we haven't really done anything more for the users. What if we want to give them the ability to change it themselves through the user interface, like a lot of other themes have as well, and Shoelace has in other different aspects of text. That a little bit more complicated, but we can still do that in a quite clever way. So the first thing we need to do is convert that to something else, variable. So if we make it here, in the variables shoelace, and we're going to call this at block. I got header color, and you can call it anything you like. So here I'm using British spelling. That's wanted that. That's the default value from it, which we're going to overwrite. And now that we've defined a variable, we can use it. Now at the moment, it won't change. So we can put that into there. And that will still compile. It wouldn't compile in CSS, but it will in less, because it does it reads it all through, puts all the stuff together, chunks out the CSS, which the browser does understand in a really nice way. Okay, now we want to be able to change that. So coming back to Shoelace, we use settings. So themes and settings already have a settings file, and it has links. Yep. Now already, okay, there's loads of information about what all these are. I think on Moodle.org and creating a theme setting page, which you can see on the slide there, reference. Luckily, we've got one of these already, so we can just literally copy and paste this and adapt it for our own use. So copy that, and we want to call this block header color, like so. Yeah, really nice and neat. That's the setting name, which is going to be used within the code itself. Then we need a language string, which will put it on the settings page, and a description for it. So they must be unique, so we put that in, and we can might as well use the same thing of default color, and put that default there, and call this block header, just so we can remind ourselves. Now, we've got so far, so we've got a setting, but Moodle still doesn't know, where can we get these language strings from? Right. So we need to go and find that. Now, this is a bit horrible to people not with English, but unfortunately, everything in Moodle needs to have an English language file. So if we edit that one, and also have it because it needs these sort of things, and we can define our language strings for them. Just copy and pasting that. Save a bit of time here. So that in there. So we define our two there and call this block header color. That's now defined. So we've got the setting set up, we've got the variable in the less setup. Now we need to literally glue the two together to make it really useful. So back on this in lib.php. Yeah, I've got a really special function called shoelace variables less. There's the nice little link there that tells you where in the documentation it's defined. I got some defined already, and this is where we're going to glue the less variable to the PHP theme variable to make the A equals B. So we can take that. This is where you just need a little bit of PHP knowledge, but you can put any generic PHP knowledge. So we need. That's the name of the setting that we've defined here for Moodle. There, and then on the left-hand side, we need the one we've got for less. We copy that, and we go there, paste it in, save it. So now we've glued the whole lot together. Now it's really important, because we're changing language strings. A simple page refresh won't work. We must do a purge or caches, because theme designer mode only does for the theme elements, not the generic language strings. Okay, as that's loading, so that purges or caches take a little bit longer. There we are, like so. Now, actually, that's a really odd shade of green. That comes from the previous presentation, so it hasn't got the default because the database has remembered that I had that setting in there. So, but to prove that really works, we can have a look at our min image. So if we refresh that page, yeah, that's just failed a second, but it just knows, hopefully. Aha, right, I got a typo going in there. So block header, I've got too many R's. That's where debugging really comes in. Yeah, oops, indeed. What a mistake. So in shoe layer, block header color, that's correct there. So clearly, in settings, I've done a little bit there differently. Absolutely, thank you. So we change, save that. Yeah, hands of mice and men. And we still do the cache. But this is great because this is where that, that debugging turns on. Give a full stack trace. It tells you exactly what the problem was, everything. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it happens always. But this is why I have debugging. Brilliant, really helps everybody. Simple typo, everybody. If we weren't human, we wouldn't be able to learn either. So now, got that purge all caches. Touch wood, it all will now be perfect. Ta-da! Hopefully no errors. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, now we've got our new block header. This is the default coming from the settings file. Excuse me. Now we want to make it something different. Now is it yellow? Sorry, green. Well, let's make it. Tell you what, we've got a little minute. Put in the chat. First person? What color would you like? Bear in mind, I'm slightly colorblind. Type of color. Oh, right. Okay. Thank you, Richard. So 75935. Yeah, no why. Let's save that. We are nerds and geeks. But it's lovely. It's not geeky. It's just we love it. We're good at it. It pays the rent. It is actually 0071. That bit sort of immediate dark shade of blue. Oh, that's a colour and a half, isn't it? So there you now we've done something different. So sort of summarise that. We've got our setting. We're taking that setting. Is then transferring it to the less. The less is then recompiling itself and adjusting itself, creating the CSS. Then the CSS is being then reloaded by the theme. Boom. Really straightforward. That's the most complicated one I'm going to show you now. You can do more stuff. So that's the task, but there is a lot of sort of different videos that you can get. So I've put on the course. So where to find out? There is the themes forum. I'm moderator on there. Really excellent lady on there. Mary Evans does stuff. Richard Ullman, another moderator. Brilliant, really, really helpful. Themes documentation. If you're posting stuff on the themes forum, really helps to say like the middle version and screenshots. Brilliant. Pictures speaks 1,000 words, like Stefan's other presentation. Developer tools, links there. Not just Firefox has them, other ones as well. You want to then take it further. There's to learn less on there. jQuery, new version of AMD. I haven't covered any of that here. Certainly the new Shoelace thing uses it. Essential will use it at some point. Shoehorn uses it. Grunt is another way of compiling the less into the CSS. Shoehorn uses that. Essential uses that. Campers uses that. A lot of other things do. It's just another way of doing things. The more themes Shoelace use this PHP method that I'm showing you there. Okay, so to summarize, we have learned how to set up an environment. So we know where to get the information, get your development environment, so you avoid that production environment. We've had a look at browser development tools. So the bit in the browser we can expect. Have a look at all the HTML and change things and adapt things and try things out. You don't have to worry about are you going to break it. Doesn't matter. It's only your own little Moodle set up. You're just adjusting the page. What the heck? If it breaks, it goes. But just reinstall Moodle or something. No problem at all. I've showed you how to take things further as we've progressed. Now, what I'd like you to do is make a simple change to a theme. Take a screenshot. There's a great tool called GreenShot to do that, open source. It's open source, but it's certainly free. Post it in with a description in the presentation of this course. So, yeah, the presentation and the course for this presentation. If you do, you will get a badge, yay! And in that badge will then you also get released some more videos which cover these 5 things that I've already shown you here in small little snippets that you can download in FLV format or XVID format, well beyond the lifetime of this, or without having to scroll through all of this presentation as well. And I'll give you some feedback. Peers, everybody have a look and take it from there. Okay, now we're into the Tell Me How To question and answers. Thank you very much for attending and participating. Please give me feedback there. I will copy the chat. Please feel free to type, take a microphone, and I'll try and explain anything you like with themes. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Richard. Okay, thank you. Look in the chat, Lindy. Yeah, can do. I'll keep recording while questions come in.
Well, Gareth, just because the actual presentation is finishing up, thank you so much for that. There are some fantastic tips and tricks in there, and I'll leave it for people to ask their questions in the chat, but thank you very much.
Thank you. And make some changes to other themes configuration. Would you need to do it again? Only when you're updating the theme. The best way sometimes is to create a child theme. And there's some guides on that. That's just ask on the theme forum, put a link in there, and then when you update the theme, your configurations don't change. But once you saved it to an existing theme and you don't update it, then yeah, it doesn't change. I hope that answers questions. Right, thank you, Bob. Okay, thank you, Stuart. Hopefully, Anne, I've answered your question. Please do type in. Lynn, is it possible to remove docking feature on one type of block? No. As far as I know, docking, the way that Baz has implemented it, and there it has been put in, is an all or nothing. I mean, there might be a really, really complicated way of doing it. Oh, unless you could maybe just remove the icon. There might be a way of hiding the icon on cheat. So, for example, if we expand that element, actually just thinking about this is where unfair that this is the block settings, yeah. So if we wanted that one, we would just do a display none. So like settings, it would be, let's find settings, and that is called hider. Block hider hide. Block hider hide. Remember that. So write some CSS for that. So let's try. Settings. Hide. No, let's refresh that one. That's reloading. Look at the other ones. Yeah, thank you, Stuart. And yeah, thank you very much. Please feel free to read the recording, ask questions. Anything is appreciated just to try. Okay, so that did that work? No, it didn't. Hide. Then we've got block hider hide. Block hider hide. Let's go back. Right, underscore settings, and yep, let's try that again. So, okay, this is the minimize icon because I haven't got docking set on, but you can imagine the same thing. Yep, there's the icon going. So you can imagine with clean that would happen in that. Okay, what was it that you did to collect the CSS changes that you made manually in one go? Which bit was that, please, Anne? Was it the bit when I sort of copied and pasted? Thank you, Lindy. You made such a yeah. All I did was in element here, like, all right, right in like so. There 24px. That won't do anything. Whoops. Oh. Whoops. Let's try that again. Yep, there. What I did was select it like so. I did Control C, and then that allowed to go to here, Control V. Yeah, so just a bog standard copy paste. I hope that answers your question. Oh, yeah, did the same thing. I just selected them. So, try. Let's try 000. Oh, FF. Yep. What I did, select them all in one go. Control C. Like that. No, I think I just, they did not type them under the each. Yeah, no, I did. I think all I did was I did one after each other, just did a copy paste, as far as I can remember. Okay, any more question, please? I think I might have done it from memory. But it is just, yeah, copy paste. I mean, so actually, I mean, you complete the task, get the badge, all these associated tasks are there. Have a look at the videos, and please, you know, post a screenshot, anything like that in the forums, and I'll try and answer them and get back to you. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Lindy. Thank you, Anne. Okay, if there's no more questions, I will stop recording and chit chat.